Hello, 7th graders. This is the first vocabulary of the year. It'll be related to force in motion. Our first word for the year is reference point. Reference point is a visual cue that lets you know if something's moving or not. If you're riding down the road in a car, it's best to find a stationary object to determine if you're moving or not. So if there's a parked car, there's a tree, or a sign, you can use that as a reference point to determine if you are moving or not. The next word is speed. Speed is a measure of how quickly an object's position changes. The way we determine speed, the formula, is distance divided by time. Next word is a math term that you're probably familiar with, is the x-axis. The x-axis is the horizontal part of a graph. So it goes horizontally. Starts here at the origin, plus numbers this way, negative numbers out off the paper somewhere else. So that's the x-axis. Next we have the y-axis. Y-axis is the vertical part of the graph. We have here, starting at the origin, above the origin are positive numbers, below the origin are negative numbers. So this is the y-axis. Alright. Next word is velocity. Velocity is different from speed because velocity is speed and direction. So if I were to tell you that a car was traveling 80 miles per hour down Interstate 40, that gives you information about that car and whatever the contents of the car might be, but you have no idea which direction the car is going. For instance, if I told you the car was going 80 miles per hour out of Eflin headed west, you would know the car was headed towards Mebane and on towards Burlington and then Greensboro. If I were to tell you, and that would be its velocity, would be 80 miles per hour west. If I was telling you it's going 80 miles per hour east, then out of Eflin, then you know it was going 80 miles per hour east, either toward Hillsboro and then on to Durham, or Hillsboro and then on to Raleigh, depending on which interstate they continue on to. So that's velocity. Next word is acceleration. Acceleration is any change in an object's velocity. So acceleration can be slowing down, the acceleration could be speeding up, or acceleration could just be changing directions and maintaining that same speed. But the acceleration would be different because the direction changed. Next word we have, which is utilized in math, is rate of change, and it's how one quantity changes related to another quantity. So back to our graph, you'll see on a line that there's a dot right here at the origin. That's when x is 0 and y is also 0. So what is the rate of change when you get to the next point? Here we have, and when you get to this point, you realize that y has gone up 2, positive 2, and x is also gone up positive 2. So this is why this line would be straight, because the rate of change would be 2 divided by 2, which is 1. If the rate of change is 1, you're going to have a wonderful straight line. So rate of change is just the change in y divided by the change in x. In this case, 2 divided by 2. So rate of change would be 1 here. Alright. Our last word, and the shortest word of all, is per. Per is a very strange word that we use a lot. But it is the dividing line that separates a fraction. So if you have a fraction, this fraction is 3/4. The 3 is the numerator. The 4 is the denominator. And this wonderful line in between is per. Also means divided by. So 3 divided by 4 is going to be 0.75, because that's 3/4 of a whole number 1. We also use it when we speak of speed Like if you said someone's going 100 miles per hour, you'll see it on the speedometer, it says 100, and it'll either say miles per hour, or if you're in Canada or Europe or somewhere else, it would be written in kilometers per hour. But the way you would write that, instead of writing just the P for per, it would be 100, and then miles would be the numerator. Then you'd have the line for per, and then you would have hour on the bottom. So that's our words for the week. Thank you.